This is Nikki Price, and I wanted to have a chat with you today about sleep routines, give you some hints and tips if you're either having a problem getting to sleep or whether or not you're struggling when you wake up in the middle of the night. I've struggled with both, especially waking up in the night. I've spoken to lots of people about this. I've read lots of books. I also do a lot of teaching around this as well. So I just thought that I would do a couple of videos, especially with what's going on at the moment. Also as well, I started with going through perimenopause, and that was something that nobody warned you about. I struggle a lot with the sleep due to that because the hormones change as well. So there's a lot of things that go on that we don't know about, and all of a sudden we go from being able to sleep to not being able to sleep. And I know that what happens if I struggle with my sleep a lot of the time is that small things that might not bother me 9 times out of 10 suddenly become a big thing. So I'm very aware of how I'm feeling and how much sleep I need. I also, as well, with the job that I do, I'm working with a lot of people with a lot of energy, that I have to be very careful that I keep my energy topped up and make sure I'm getting rid of things. So good night's sleep, as they say, sorts everything out. So I think when I talk about sleep, for me, it's the biggest thing I like to talk about is having a routine, having a sleep routine, and watching how you talk about your sleep routine. I see posts all the time, and I do mean all the time, especially if I am awake during the night. I can't sleep, it's rubbish, what's going to happen, awake at this time, nightmare. And there's a lot of negativity around the fact that you've woken up early. And then what happens is you start to have that negative conversation with yourself. I will guarantee you at any point that you're not going back to sleep at that point. So it's about making peace and having a conversation with yourself when it comes to sleep, and just accepting that that's where you are at that moment. So if you think about when a new baby comes along, or you've seen this on TV, or you might have had puppies are just the same, me and kittens, is they like to have, or go back to babies, they like to have a routine, and that routine is they usually have a good feed, probably a bath, nice onesie, nice all in one, all snuggled down, and you'll find everything around you has settled down and is calm. So my mum used to say when we were little, when there was me and my Paul and my dad and we would have some play fighting going on, mum would say, right, calm down or you'll never sleep. And it's true. If you're kind of having lots of great fun and that excitement is there is no way you can go from that to wanting to sleep. You need a period of time where you're settling yourself down. Now, I did another video with my basket with all kinds of things that are in there that can help you, lots of aids in there that can help you get to sleep, lots of things that smell good, lots of things that you can soothe yourself with, setting intentions. So you're going to have a nice bath, or you're going to put a candle on. It's about finding that time to relax, because you don't have a baby, you're not playing with it, woo, let's throw it in the air and then put it down and say, like, it's going to sleep, because it's not going to happen. But for some random reason, we seem to forget that when it comes to ourselves. So you need to find that time. Sometimes we're working really late, or we've done a lot of driving, and then we're coming back and expecting, and you are tired, you're absolutely tired, but your mind's not switched off. So you need to find that time to, how do you unwind from whatever's been going on in that day. You need to find a way that helps you, that's not going to stimulate it. So I've read lots of things about sleep hygiene. Firstly, I got a little bit worried about that. I thought, what's that all about? But basically saying, don't have a TV in your room, don't do this, don't do that. Personally, I have a TV in my room, and I find it works well for me. I don't always watch it when I go to bed, but it is there, because sometimes we'll say, come on, let's go to bed and watch TV for a bit. Now, this to me is the key if you're going to have TV in your room and you're going to watch it before you go to sleep. For me, is watch something that is just going to help you unwind. So I often make people laugh in my classes. I watch a bit of Death in Paradise, I watch Midsummer Murders, I watch something that is not going to upset me. Something that plods along, that I can watch, I can enjoy. There's going to be no sudden shocks in it. There's nothing going to be over dramatic. It's not going to stimulate me and keep me awake. So last night we were watching last night Gangs of London, actually. And just said, do you want to watch another one? I said, do you know what? No, I don't. I said, because that's not the right thing for me to watch before I go to bed. Because if I'm watching something that shocks me or frightens me or shook me up a little bit, that's going to be on my mind when I go to bed. So we put another programme on for half an hour, just to kind of calm us down, and then we're both, to be honest, we switched it off because I don't know who was asleep first, me or him. I know my eyes were going and his eyes were going, so it's like, come on. And that's the other thing, if you're feeling tired, get yourself down into bed, get that TV off and switch down. I try not to go to sleep with the TV on. If I know I'm getting tired, I'll switch it off, and then I'll get myself settled down. It's about having some routines. Now, again, do's and don'ts when it comes to sleep. Lots of people say, don't do this, do this. I think for me, you've got to find what works for you. So I'm going to go through some of the things that work for me and kind of the things that don't work for me. But if I'm saying one or the other and they do work for you, and they are working for you, not I must do that and then you're not sleeping. Okay, just saying. But if that's your way to get to sleep and it's working for you, do it. That's what I would go with. So for me, I was talking about TV. Make it light-hearted. Make it something, if you're going to have a TV in your room, make it something that's not going to stress you, something that's calming, and then have that, right, I'm going to switch it off now. And you have that routine of, like you would do with a little one. You don't want a little one going to sleep with a TV on every night, because they don't learn to go to sleep without a TV. So it's about turning the TV off, getting yourself settled down, and learning to go to sleep. As we said, don't watch something that's gruesome or that's going to keep you awake or it's going to get the heart pounding. Don't watch that horror film that you've been wanting to watch for ages. Don't watch that before you go to bed, because you either won't get to sleep or you will be waking up because of it. With regards to eating and drinking, don't eat an heavy meal just before you go to bed, because again, as well as your mind needing time to switch off and unwind, so does your body. If you've eaten something that's quite heavy or quite rich, you're going to struggle with going straight to sleep because your belly's going to feel really heavy. I'm not going to say to you, don't drink alcohol. A lot of the places say don't drink alcohol. I just think, know that if you've had a drink, you ain't going to sleep as well. I think we've all been there. And I think there's a difference between 1 or 2 drinks and a lot. I think we've all been there and slept and not felt like we've slept. So these are just things for you to keep an eye on. These are not me saying don't do this and do this. This is just, you know where you're up to. I find now, if I have Prosecco, I don't sleep as well. It's the weirdest thing, but that's come on because of my hormones, actually. When I have Prosecco, I guarantee I don't sleep as well. So it's something I've noticed, and I'm switching if I want at a weekend to have a few drinks, so that I'm not awake. Pointing it out, look at it yourself, see how it works in your world. So I want to now talk to you about light. For me, in my last one, I was showing my Kindle. I will get it back out again, not that I can see it. Here it is. I love my Kindle. My little routine is before I go to sleep, I have my Kindle, and I always make sure on the settings there that it's down to number 6, so that if I wake up in the night, it's not a big thing. I can just have a routine and help myself to go back to sleep. And if it's set on number 6, I know that if I open that at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's not going to blind me, because if it's still on a high one, which is a bright colour, it's going to blind me. Now for me, I don't like, so the difference between a Kindle and a phone is that's a white light and a phone's a blue light. A blue light is designed to stimulate you. So that's what's on your phones, that's what's on iPad. And the idea is they want you to be looking at what's on that phone or on that iPad. The idea is it's lit up and the light's going in to your eyes, so it's stimulating your mind. Now, I take my phone downstairs with me. And it's plugged in because it's used as an alarm, and it's there just in case, I don't know, I just have this just in case that it's there. But what I don't do just before I go to bed is I definitely don't look at emails, and I definitely don't look at anything to do with work, and I tend not to get into Facebook just before I go to bed or social media. What has happened before now in our house is you just all settle down, you're relaxed, and Just Blessing went through a stage of looking at his emails, and you only need one email from one person that, boom, you're awake, or it's on your mind all night. So for me, I would draw a line at what time you'll stop looking at emails, especially work ones. Do not need to be looking at them, and you definitely don't need to be looking at them if you do wake up. If you need to get up in the middle of the night and nip to the loo, don't look at an email, because if there's something there, it will trigger you and you will struggle to get back to sleep. I know this sounds really obvious, but it's just these little things that you can bring in and think, do you know what? We shouldn't be working at 9, 10 o'clock at night unless those are your hours. Just leave it. There's not much you can do. And if you did reply, they're not going to read it. because it's late at night. Are you with me? So I just think, just don't get into it. Just give yourself, do you know what? When I go to bed, these are my new rules. You would not let a little one go to bed with a phone that they can get upset over. So if you wouldn't let a little one do it with their sleep routine, then don't be doing it for yourself. So yes, for me, a light from a Kindle I find quite soothing, and you'll find the right number, the right pitch of light that's for you. I like as well, before I go to sleep, I have my little lamp on. It's not a really bright one, it's just a nice soft light. So again, what you're doing is, it's a bit like a little one when you put them in bed. We usually put a little soother light on. So you hear the words I'm using, a little soother light. That's what you're doing. You're letting your body know that it's now time to be settling down. Noise. Now again, this is what does or doesn't work for you. I go to sleep and I like it quiet. I do like it quiet. I like no lights on and I like it quiet. Just likes to have some kind of noise on. So he often goes to sleep with his headphones in and listen to a podcast, what's going on. I can't think of anything I would want. I can't think of anything worse for me, because that's just that will drive me to distraction, because I'd be trying to listen to it, which would then keep me awake, whereas just that works for him. So we've had lots of discussions about this, and if it works for him and it's not bothering me and vice versa, then this is why I say, I've spoken to a lot of people about a lot of things, is you've got to go what's worked for you. Now if he was doing that and not being able to sleep, that's a different thing, but I know when those earphones go in, often when he goes to sleep he doesn't do, but if he wakes up in the night he does do, because what that does is it tunes his ear, for him it tunes his ears in, so it stops the brain, it calls it his trained brain, so he goes from his senses, instead of thinking he goes to listening. So you've got to do what's right for you. Sometimes if you wake up in the night, you could put on a really nice guided meditation. You could do a sleep meditation, or it could be something that you've learned from some of the classes that we've done. I think the thing is, people always say to me, what do you listen to, Nick? I've learned through trial and error. I'll sit on YouTube and I will listen to someone's voice, and if I like what they're saying and I like how it soothes me, then I'll save it so that I know. This is all about doing a little bit of research on yourself. If you're going to wait till 3 o'clock in the morning and think, right, now I'll go on YouTube and have a look, then you're likely to struggle for a little while to get back to sleep. So I just think, do a little bit of research, what works for you. Get quite a few mindfulness things that are on YouTube. They're free. I'm looking to do one as well. I've done lots of mindfulness on YouTube also, so you can just pick something on, but pick a voice that works for you. Find one that works. I've done a dozen, 15, 20 of them, but I have some people go, I always go back to that one works for me. So today we did a really nice visual walk on a beach, like listening to the sounds of the sea and things like that. So what you're doing is you're looking to tap into those senses again, so it stops the brain, it just lets the brain chatter away, but you're going on a different path with that. Now this is bigger, this is huge, this is what I say all of the time, and this is what I hear all of the time when someone says they struggle with sleep, is I hear I can't sleep, I'm rubbish at sleeping, I'm always awake. And my answer to that is, if you're saying I can't sleep, I'm rubbish at sleeping, I'm always awake, that's what your body's going to do. There is no way on this earth, if you say I cannot sleep, that you are going to be able to sleep. You might do eventually through sheer exhaustion, but you become what you're telling yourself. So it's about having those conversations and say, wasn't the best sleep last night, but I am going to sleep tonight. I am going to have some sleep tonight. I know when I go to bed, I'll have a lovely sleep plan, and whatever time I go to sleep, I'll be going to sleep. So what you're doing is you're shifting it from I cannot, I will not, I'm rubbish at, and that negativity that comes in. I see it, honestly, night in, night out. I can't this, I can't that, been up since this, been up since that. I have a sleep pattern that whatever time I wake up, I wake up. Now, sometimes I can go back to sleep, but a lot of times I can't. I've made peace with this, because I know somewhere along the line I'll catch up with it. I know sometimes at a weekend I might just have an extra couple of hours in an afternoon or in the morning, or I'll have an early night. But what happens, we have this thing in our head that we have to go to bed at this time and we have to wake up that time. And if we go to bed early, then we don't do that. So this is something to do with association of being little. I'm convinced of it. You know when your mum used to say, if you're not good, we're going to send you to bed early. We have that, still have that teenage bit in our head that goes, I'm not going to bed. I'm not going to bed. I'm not a child. Do you know what? If you're tired and you can get to bed early, go to bed early. It's just a bit daft really, isn't it, if you don't? And same with waking up. I find this time of year as well, because the light's changing, I find I sleep a heck of a lot when it comes to winter, because it goes dark early and stays dark longer. That's when I catch up. When I say to people saying, I'm not getting out of bed till whatever time, I say, good. That's what animals do. That's what nature does. You're catching up with that sleep. And that's what I'd say to you. That's what you're wanting to do. Catch up on your sleep. I've just got distracted because my 2 spaniels came upstairs. I could hear them running upstairs. Hello. You got your ball. Hello, sweet boy. Now, they could teach you how to sleep. They're very good sleepers. But if I'm awake I could be awake at 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm just used to that now. But what I will do is I'll spend that time and I'll sit and I'll read, or I'll put the TV on, or watch a bit of something. I'll catch a little bit up on Pinterest. I don't necessarily go on Facebook or anything like that, but I'll catch up on a couple of things rather than lie in bed for 2 hours, getting myself so cross and frustrated because I'm awake. What's the point in that? What is the point in me lying in bed and being frustrated at the fact that I'm awake? If I'm awake, I'm awake, and it's just where I am. But what I will do is, or what you're able to do, is just put a mindful exercise on. You're still able to relax your body even though you're not asleep. So it's just finding some peace with yourself and just go, it's where I am. If I'm awake, I'm awake. If I wake up 1, 2 o'clock, I think, right, I won't be awake all night because that's just silly. But what I might have to do is reset when I've gone to sleep. So I'll get the book out, and sometimes I know if it's one of those evenings that I'm going to be reading for an hour, but I know that, and I've made peace with that, but I know I will go back to sleep, and that will get me back to sleep a lot quicker than, oh my god, what am I going to do? I've now only got 5 hours left, I've now only got 4 hours left, I've now only got all that's doing it is just kicking adrenaline around your system. So sometimes we've got to, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes I've got to reset. Sometimes if I'm really wide awake, the little lamp goes on. So I do almost what I did several hours before. The little light goes on, just to sleep through anything. So a little light goes on, I'll have a read, light goes off, I'll carry on reading, and then the Kindle goes under my pillow and I go back to sleep. So it's having those conversations with yourselves, doing what you're able to do beforehand, looking at your sleep routine, looking at what you're eating and drinking, looking at kind of what makes you comfy and cosy. So we've looked at self-talk. I can and I will. It's okay to wake up. Looking at our resettle routine. What are we having? Are we having a nice drink before we go to bed? I've heard people, when they've woken up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, they've come upstairs and made themselves a warm drink or a milky drink. There's something about warm milk and cookies, isn't there? There's a reason they say that. We say that's a little ones. It does work. So it's about knowing that if you do wake up, you can do something about it to get yourself back to sleep, instead of lying there and getting yourself more and more wound up. That to me is the biggest thing I would say to you. Just, this is where we're at. Right, what do I need to do? What can I do to get myself back there? Again, it's about how you talk about something. So I can always catch up on some sleep instead of I'm behind. And just know, like I say, if you've had a couple of late nights or a couple of nights where you've struggled, give yourself permission. Nice warm bath. Get yourself in bed early. Put the earplugs in. Just, you can have some good sleep there. Stop trying to fight it. Stop trying to burn candles at both ends. Stop trying to stay up late when you've been up for several hours. If you had a little one, you would do. You put them to bed early. And that's what I'd say to yourself as well. We're adults now. It's about taking some responsibility ourselves. So, I've done a routine, a little exercise on a sleep routine. So I think what I will do is I'll stop this video here, and then I'll do an additional video that goes with it and explains the sleep routine to you. So I'm hoping that's helped. I'm hoping that's all about looking at what your routine is, looking at it before, make a plan, tell your other half that that's what you're going to do. Get those lovely products out, get those things that smell lovely, get yourself comfortable, and know that I'm going to go to bed at this time, and just go with it. Bit of relaxing TV, have a read, have a magazine, listen to something that just go along those lines of how can you switch yourself off, slow yourself down and get yourself ready for some sleep. So I'm going to come back now with part 3 of a sleep routine. I'll see you presently.